Hello, so this is the follow-on video to last video where I spoke about my books being worth £1 million. So in this video I thought I'd talk a bit more about Voyager because this is the most powerful book of all of them, and also to talk about some of the unusual experiences I had after I wrote this book. So when I was writing this book, I was astral travelling into the centre of the galactic sun. There's a lot of fire energy in there, and as said previously in my other videos and on my websites, I've had experiences of astral travelling into the centre of hot stars, and there's a lot of fire in the centre of the hot stars. And by having the experience of astral travelling into the centre of hot stars, I became one in my astral body with fire beings, ascended masters or ascended ETs, fire beings. So when I had the experience of the fire of the central sun in the astral body, I became purified of all of my karma, and that fire energy is as a paranormal, otherworldly energy that then kind of comes through into physical form on Earth. And in part, that fire energy is kind of a supernatural protection or a divine protection from God, because what happened afterwards, once I spoke about getting rid of $1 million lawsuit, and those intentions failed. Like, the company then went out of business, and a Category 5 hurricane destroyed the island that they're living on to pieces and did a lot of damage. So I've talked about that. So basically what then happened is, at the same time I said to myself and to others around me, I was completely finished with ayahuasca, and this was in 2016, so I'd come to the culmination of the ayahuasca path. And whilst I was coming to the culmination of the ayahuasca path, that's when I was writing this book and having very strong experiences of the fire energy in the central suns. So basically I said to a group of people that I was finished with them, and this group of people were involved in ayahuasca, they're involved in organising ayahuasca ceremonies for other people. It wasn't something I wanted to be a part of, it wasn't really my path. I said I was finished with these people, and what happened was, several weeks after I'd finished with these people, a woman from this group of people who I never had feelings for, I never had any type of relationship with, did some type of magic which involved going into the astral planes and making an energy cord on my astral body. And I wrote a bit about this on my blog, and the consequence of that is I was stuck in somebody else's energy for a period of 5 years, completely stuck in their energy, like locked into their astral body on a rope or an energy cord that was made with some type of magic. Now, when this was done, it looked like, at the time, the person was a twin flame, and it was like a twin flame astral planes union. But looking back on the experiences I've had, coming to understand it deeper, it wasn't a twin flames union, it was actually something else, because of the fires that then happened in these ayahuasca retreats as a result of this astral plane tampering or black magic that I became immune to. So basically, when this energy cord was made, I was then in love with this person, but I never agreed to feel that way. it's not something I ever asked for. And also on the earth, I never had any feelings toward this person at all. And most significantly, these feelings and experiences of being in love with the person were aligned with the pagan cycles of witchcraft and black magic. So what happened was every 3 months on the 8th, this is called 8th magic, I was suddenly joined to this other person's energy in the astral planes, and the following equinox or solstice, that astral planes joining was cut, and then that process repeated every 3 months. But every time it repeated, it wore off, it became weaker and weaker over time, and after a period of 5 years, this astral planes energy called rope magic totally failed. I basically become immune to it. But whilst this was happening, when the rope was made on my energy, the first thing I see in my energy is burning ayahuasca trees. I see ayahuasca trees like burning, being on fire, being totally destroyed by big fires. And I prophesized which trees that would happen to, and these places then burned down in fires exactly as I foretold. And it wasn't just one place either, it was kind of a total of like between 15 and 18 different ayahuasca trees were totally destroyed in fires several weeks or months after I foretold that would actually happen. And the strangest thing about this is these fires, I foresaw them when this woman made this energy rope on my astral body. The very first thing I would start to perceive is a lot of disturbances. And then I would have visions of big fires destroying ayahuasca trees in Portugal. And once I saw these visions of fires, what then happened was from the 8th until the following equinox or solstice, that's like a period of 45 days, I was totally roped, stuck in this person's energy against my will, and there's no way to actually remove the energy cord from the person that I was roped into. And at the same time that was happening, a lot of people in the ayahuasca community decided to start a war. They started to post harassment, attacks, threats on my website, on my Facebook, in my emails. And at the same time, what then happened is police started going to ayahuasca retreat centres in Portugal and arresting various people for supplying big bags of weed, big bottles of ayahuasca, and there's basically a massive carnage that happened in Portugal several years ago, back in 2016 and 2017, as a result of this astral planes energy robe that was made on my energy. Now, the purpose of this type of magic is to try and harness the energy of the spiritual master so you can use the energy of them without permission. So it's kind of basically taking energy like from the spiritual master and then putting it into ayahuasca trees and then saying, if you try and get your energy back, we're going to start attacking you, we're going to make a lot of trouble for you. And that's basically exactly what happened. And so for a time, my energy was totally stuck and roped into a group of ayahuasca people involved in a lot of harassment and attacks of me and my work. Now, whilst all that was going on, again and again, I kept foreseeing fires in my energy coming to the places where these people are at. And what then happened was these fires actually happened as I foresaw, and when these fires happened, what then happened is in my energy I became filled up with lots of white stones and astral energy and astral power, and because of that, when the next 3 month cycle started again with this energy called astral planes magic, it became slightly weaker each time. So basically every 3 months I would ascend in my energy because of some kind of energy war that the ayahuasca community declared on me, and as a result of declaring that war against me and my work, they kept losing energy every 3 months, and when the fires destroyed their retreat centers, it was like a divine curse of star beings, because when the fire came, at the same time, immediately this rope that was locked into my energy, and the other end of it was locked into ayahuasca retreats in Portugal. Once the fire came, it destroyed the anchor point of the rope, and then I was freed from this anchorage that I never actually agreed to. And the strangest phenomena of this, it looks like a twin flame union, but it's not like that. That's not how twin flames come together in the astral planes. Like if you read up about pagan magic and pagan witchcraft, what you'll find is there's something called eighth magic, and what eighth magic is basically manipulating someone's energy by doing love magic and using black magic rituals in ayahuasca to bind someone's soul to your energy, so that in the astral planes you're not two separate souls, you're just only one soul. The two of you have come together, except that unlike twin flames, where the people have actually agreed to that, in a black magic soul binding, the agreement isn't there, and this astral planes joining that makes one be in love with another person, even when you haven't agreed to that, it's an energy violation of someone's astral plane's body, and this is something you should never ever do, because what happens is if you do this to someone, what's going to happen is you're going to keep losing energy until the magic is cancelled. And that's basically what happened for 5 years, from 2016 to 2021. I was stuck on an energy cord or an astral plane's rope to someone else, and I never agreed to that rope. And what was happening was every third eighth of the month, I was being joined to their energy with some type of bizarre paranormal magic, pagan magic, and when that was done, I was like seeing in my energy like big fires destroying retreat centers, and strangely enough, these fires happened exactly as I said they would many times over. And when I went to the places after they burned down, because when I heard the places burned down after I foresaw they would burn down, I thought this was a very strange thing. So I actually went to the places and walked around these burned ayahuasca retreats. And what happened was I started journeying like I was on ayahuasca, and the journey lasted 10, 11 days at a time. I was being totally ramped up with energy from these burned out retreat centers. So it's kind of like my energy was like stuck in there, and when the fires came, it kind of liberated all of that energy back out, and just by going there I was able to like fill back up on my own energy. This is my energy, it was roped in there to start with, and the fires kind of destroyed the retreats and then enabled me to get that energy back. So I kind of see these fires as like a divine intervention from star beings that enabled me to become purified of the energy bondage to black magic and witchcraft. Now, another paranormal thing about this whole story is when I was on this energy cord with black magic, every 3 months, the equinox or solstice, I'd keep being filled up with white stones, like clockwork, every equinox or every solstice, from the people where this rope was made into. They would lose all their energy to me every 3 months, so I would keep going up, up, up in terms of astral awareness, and at the same time I would keep downloading more and more white stones into physical form on Earth. And strangely enough, as a result of that, I became purified of pretty much everything. All the legal disputes I ever had that were malicious against me to start with, I became purified of that. I became purified of this black magic interference. My reputation got totally whitened up. Basically, the whole story is about becoming white and becoming purified of the karma of the human race by way of becoming immune to astral planes, black magic, witchcraft. So by healing myself of black magic, by purifying myself of this energy bond to another person, a bond that I never agreed to have, the unexpected effect of that was being totally filled up with energy and white stones and downloading a fresh blueprint in my own energy. And that's about being a high V spiritual mentor. And as a result of this very strange witchcraft that I experienced for 5 years, this person was a light worker, a typical light worker. So I kind of got forgiveness for light worker karma by way of having this experience that I never agreed to have. So before this astral planes energy cord was made in me, I had white stones of karma and I had black stones of karma at the same time. Now, when this energy cord was made in me, what happened was all the black stones went to all the other people involved in the disputes and involved in doing this ayahuasca magic, and all their white stones came into me. So it's kind of like a changing around of the karma slate, and every 3 months I kept being filled up with more and more white stones, and any remaining black stones I had kind of disappeared out of my energy and went into the other side. And the end result of the whole matter is an ayahuasca church is totally filled up with black stones, karma black stones. They lost the freedom for the sacrament all over Portugal and all over Europe. Ayahuasca is now banned in every court of Europe. They lost every single dispute with the authorities. This company that tried to sue me for $1 million, they went out of business as well. So basically, anyone and everyone that tried to interfere in my work ended up taking back their black stones of karma for starting the energy war in the first place. And anyone and everyone opposed to these books being worth £1 million just had one curse after another. People are losing massive amounts of money, going out of business, people are getting divorced, legal disputes, the whole works. So it's just a mass karmic chaos, so to speak, until this whole story of me coming off this energy rope was completed. And when I came off this energy robe, that's when I downloaded from Source a fresh blueprint for being a high-fee spiritual mentor. And now that my prices are set very high, it's like an immunity to karma, because I don't sell this work very cheaply, because I don't give it away cheap, or because I don't answer loads of free questions, because I don't have lots of followers asking loads of questions, because I don't entertain all of that. Like, my energy is a lot stronger. And what I learned from this experience is, like, these Star Beings books, there's a huge amount of power and energy in there, and every time a set of these books went out into human race to someone, a part of the sacredness of the connection I had with these star beings kind of went out there, and as a result, the channels of my own star beings started to diminish until I realized, hey, that's not going to be like that. And the minute I said these books were like £1 million, it kind of like put the brakes on the whole story of me taking on black stones of other people, being degraded by the karma of the human race. And this strange interference in my energy that someone did several years ago, like the person that made this energy robe in my astral body also interfered in my legal business at the same time, and as a result of this I became purified of legal trouble. The legal trouble that they wanted for me is now on their side of the fence, and all the black stones that they wanted me to have, they've got the black stones. So there's kind of a lesson in there, like if you degrade the spiritual master or become malicious toward like the star beings coming through the spiritual master, this is a very serious and heavy karma, and it appears as one curse after another, causing chaos throughout the whole ayahuasca community. So basically this whole ayahuasca community has lost a massive dispute in every single country of Europe. They're now criminalized. You're not allowed to supply ayahuasca in any country of Europe. There's been a stack of arrests all over Europe for ayahuasca, and this is also because I was born to a police family in England. So my father was a cop. Like in my life story, I write quite a bit about my father being a cop. I was born to a police family in England, so this is a life story. And my police family in England, they're strict Christians, they're big on morals and everything like that. And at the time I kind of rebelled against that, because it's like Christian morality, it seemed a bit square, this whole thing about right and wrong. But in the end, like I wrote in this life story book, spiritual advancement is about right and wrong, and right and wrong seems a very simple thing, but in truth, in the spiritual community, very few people know what right and wrong actually is. There's a lot of ethical twistedness, there's a lot of ethical distortedness, there's a lot of fuckiness going on in the lightworker community, and being ethical isn't actually very popular at all. But being ethical is kind of like the fundamental foundation of the entire spiritual path. If you say, right and wrong doesn't matter, your foundation is rotten at the start, and anything you try and do upon that is then basically rotten afterwards. So in the experience of having this energy cord made to me, so basically a group of ethically rotten individuals in the ayahuasca community try to bring me down and hack into my astral energy in ayahuasca, it's backfired on themselves. All of their ayahuasca retreats have been destroyed in these fires, and their church has been criminalized, and they've ended up having back a lot of black karma stones that they shoved onto me in the first place. And I've been silent for many years because I've been being grounded in my energy, but I've also been healing myself of the after effects of black magic, a very strong and paranormal type of black magic, and it took several years to kind of purify myself of that, but now I'm totally purified of that and totally purified of everything else. I can come out a bit more and talk about what's happened on YouTube, make videos and share more about some of my experiences that happened to me. So it kind of sums up that video. So if you want to read more about this type of magic that I experienced, you can go to my website, and it basically gives you a summary of the difference between witchcraft and twin flames. It's not always clear cut, because sometimes people think they've met their twin flame in astral planes when really there's some type of witchcraft or love magic at work. And some people, when they get together with their twin flames in the spiritual community, what sometimes has happened is one person's done some type of witchcraft or love magic, and it's kind of brought two people together, except the person that the magic was done to hasn't really consented to the relationship. And that's the whole point of this magic, this love magic that was done to me. The whole purpose of it, it's done by light workers against spiritual teachers or other males, and it's designed to try and use energy manipulation to make the male serve a female involved in light working or ayahuasca, and that goes against the divine laws of the universe. Like, it's not my obligation to serve anyone else in the human race. Now, if people buy these books for £1 million and pay for expensive mentoring, what's really happening is you're serving me with a very strong amount of money. So when you serve me, then what happens is you get back these books, you get back my time and energy, you get back spiritual mentoring, and that's the payback that you get. But you're always like in service of me first, and then in return you get something back. And that's where your spiritual mentoring and advancement is. I think the misunderstanding a lot of people have is I'm supposed to serve other people, when in fact it's actually not like that at all. Like, every single person, group or organization that believes I have to serve them, they've just ended up losing a lot of energy and having a karma demerit, and in the end it's just a massive karma balancing. And it brings me to the point of being purified of the karma of other people and being made to suck up other people's karmic abuse and black stones. So by being expensive, it also repels like abuse in the spiritual community, and there's tons of it. Like, since I've said my work was £1 million, not a single person has attacked me on the point of price, and it's because recognizing your self-worth, it channels a very strong power and energy, and it kind of repels outwardly any counter intention that would go against one's own well-being. So I think this video can be summed up as a lot of people in the human race and the ayahuasca community had a lot of very negative intentions toward me back in 2016, and as a result of channeling the Voyager book and bringing the fire energy into the astral body, it basically burned off, purified and dissolved all the black karma of interference, which at the time was causing me a lot of trouble. And as a result of recognizing the true value of this work, I was able to become totally purified of that, and then I became dissolved of this very paranormal and bizarre soul binding that I wrote about on my website. So this person appeared in the astral planes as a twin flame. It looked very much like at the time it was a twin flame dynamic, but I've done a lot of research and study on the phenomena afterwards, and it looked like at the time it was twin flames, but in retrospect what happened was I was under a spell of very bizarre and paranormal witchcraft that only my star beings and a divine intervention helped me to heal of. Now, the side effect of this type of magic, as someone else said, once you become immune to witchcraft energy called black magic, you basically no longer have an energy cord in the entire human race. And when you don't have an energy cord in the human race, you're basically totally immune to their karma. And when you're immune to the karma of the human race, and you don't keep taking on other people's black stones, and then you have the ability to ascend and leave the reincarnational cycle. This is very advanced understanding that if you keep taking on other people's black stones, or if you keep being polluted by the black stone energy of the general human race, it's an endless work to purify yourself of that, and it can be endless. And if you don't get rid of the black stones of others, you can be forced to take a rebirth against your own will, and ultimately it can interfere with your ascension process. So wise people read up about some of my experiences in this magic, or basically see that someone tried to stop me ascending in the astral planes, and also at the same time try interfering in my legal business on earth to try and bring me down for very unethical and selfish intentions, and those intentions have totally failed. Like, the opposites happened. Instead of them wanting to become powerful on my energy for ayahuasca, the reverse has happened. And I don't say like I'm powerful as such, but what's happened is I've received so many white stones and so much energy in the astral planes. I've basically ascended out of the entire ayahuasca community at great expense to them. And life is about forgiveness, but it's also about justice and divine retribution. And this Ayahuasca Church, they started the war, they were responsible for the war. The woman that made the energy cord in my astral body, she was responsible for her intentions, and the people that were posting threats and harassment on my website and posting defamatory allegations about me, which have all been removed, they're all responsible for that. And it's basically a very strong karma purification lesson in right and wrong and being ethical, because you know what, in the spiritual community, I can tell you this, very few people are actually ethical. There's a lot of spiritual people out there, but ethical grounding isn't something very many people have, and you do need to have that in order to attain spiritual mastery. If you think you can ascend or attain a higher conscious state whilst being totally unethical in the earth planes, and you're mistaken, and all that will happen is you'll lose a lot of energy, you're going to backslide, and then you'll have to start your spiritual process all over again. So I think that's enough talking in this video. So I've spoken about that my books are worth £1 million. I've spoken about some of the experiences I've had, and the takeaway lesson is, by making this Voyager book and the other books altogether £1 million are basically become totally and utterly purified of karma, had a totally fresh reboot, a spiritual reboot. So in my base chakra there's only white stones, there's no black stones there, and in the space of only white stones is about channeling a fresh blueprint to work with high fee paying clients. So basically, if you're intrigued and interested and you understand some of the things I'm talking about and you have the type of money I'm asking for and you want to work with me, then by all means you can contact me on my website and we can look at things further. Okay, so that's all for now. Free spirit out.